You get stale.
Popcorn?
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
Popcorn? You forget about things like stale.
Popcorn.
Popcorn, stale popcorn.
Popcorn.
Pop.
This is the
Stale popcorn.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Stale Popcorn Podcast. I'm your host, Steven, and with me as always is my co-host, my buddy, Christopher. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Steve. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm real good. Chris,
That's good.
I want to dive in because we got some stuff and things to talk about. 4 of the fantastic kind. Did you see the trailer?
Ooh, I did. You got The Thing, you got Mrs. Fantastic, you got Mr. Fantastic, you got...
name the others.
Mr.
name the last one.
Flame, and you got Flame On, and Invisible Woman. Dr. Doom's in there somewhere.
Well, actually, he's
that
not
one
in the
blind
trailer,
black lady.
Kerry Washington, yes.
Silver Surfer.
Listen, Christopher.
Galactica, was that the guy?
Yeah,
Wasn't he?
Galaga.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're
Galaga
talking
Doe.
the MCU's new Fantastic Four trailer dropped this week. What do you think of it? Just initial thoughts.
I don't really have high hopes just because of it's a Fantastic Four. Take place in the 60s here?
Looks like it, yep. One of my least favorite decades.
Yeah, so I'm not excited about that. Maybe, because I remember Fallout, it kind of had a similar vibe from a trailer standpoint of older 60s, but I liked Fallout, so I'm hoping for that, but I'm still not gonna get all in. I'm not going full 10 toes in.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
putting
smart.
one toe in.
That's smart, Chris. Don't get your hopes up, because
Yep.
if you get all
One
hyped
knuckle.
and it sucks, yeah. Gosh, come on.
So-
Yeah, no, this trailer, it was better than I was expecting. One of the things I really actually liked about it was The Thing. I thought I wouldn't like him. I thought he looked real cool. Looks dumb and goofy, just like The Thing should. It was really good. I kind of like the vibe of the trailer. There's a bit where he's like, here's Ben Grimm, the best looking pilot in the world. And it cuts to him as The Thing. You know, he's looking at himself. I was like, that's a pretty good, little transition there. So there's cute little things like that where I was like, okay, this has some potential. But again, like you, Chris, I don't want to get my hopes up. We talked about it a little bit where it's like the others, I'm not a big fan of the casting, like Pedro and his Pascals and Vanessa
I think
Kirby.
my main one is Quinn
Joseph.
as Johnny Storm.
You like that one?
No, I don't, because
Oh.
I feel like the one good thing about the other ones was Chris Evans as Human Torch, because you're granted, I don't really know the comics or that much, but he seemed like the hothead, cool guy, like Chris Evans versus maybe I'm just seeing Gladiator 2 incestuous boy when I see him, so I'm just like, all right,
Yeah, especially with Pedro and Joseph Quinn, at time of conception of this movie, I feel like they were just really safe bets. Everyone really liked them at the time. People still love them, but I was like, these guys are really popular right now, so let's nab them while we can. And I kind of wish they would have just done something different, but we'll see how it goes. Still kind of looking forward to it, but we'll see, Christopher. Next trailer, we got Jurassic World After Birth.
Welcome to Afterbirth.
Welcome to Afterbirth. If I was a doctor in the delivery room.
Yeah.
That's a great catchphrase. Anyway, Chris, did this trailer move the needle for you at all?
Probably not. I think it'll be better than the last
Oh, yeah.
2, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first Jurassic World was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then, the other 2, just, especially that last one, I was just like, well, all right, is enough here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll watch it, I guess. It's kind of like the Godzilla X Kong kind of thing where I'm like, it could be fun, but it's not one I'm psyched for. Don't think I ever will be.
I was more excited for Godzilla X Kong than this, because at least you got multiple monsters being stupid,
That's
punching
true.
up on each other. This one, I really hope this franchise gets it together, and it's not like the big thing about the new movie is the new dinosaur. You know what I mean? Because the Indominus Rex was the new one, and then it's like, hey, we got another one. Hey, here's
you're
another
talking
one.
about the Raptor.
Oh, yes. I mentioned that on keen listeners. I'll actually throw a clip in here at the 1:30 mark. There's needs to have had more pronunciation from a certain lad.
It was one of those, they put it in post.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you call that. Like, let's throw some subliminal messages here.
Yeah. Also, that guy's British, and his accent really peeks through. hard.
Yeah.
He's from Wicked, isn't he? He's from Bridgerton and Wicked. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah. He's
Anthony
the prince.
something. Ugh. Yeah,
I thought it was Rhino when I saw it. Hey, it's Rhino.
Oh,
And my wife's like, no, it's not. Because Rhino was in Jurassic Park 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's kind of fun. They're just, hey, he's coming back.
Yeah.
But now some Bridgerton.
They don't have the balls to do that.
No, that would have been cool.
I wish Jurassic Park would just get real weird with it, man.
Mm-hmm.
In our most anticipated episode, I talked about how they should just have dinosaur-human hybrids and just get super body horror kind of weird with it. I think that would be more fun than whatever this is.
Go like Planet of the Apes, where they're more humanish, and they hunt the humans and they make them the slaves, and then you got Paul Giamatti as one of the dinosaurs. And
sounds like a recipe for a winner right there, Chris.
yes.
Oh, Mahershala Ali's in this. Blade, or the artist that's formerly known
Formerly
Blade.
known as Blade and Cottonmouth.
Yeah, I've been watching. Have you ever seen The Green Book with
I heard
Mahershala
it.
and Viggo Mortensen?
Vigo, the one best pick, I believe.
Oh yeah, I got somehow on my YouTube algorithm just inundated with clips from The Green Book, so I've been watching that movie a minute at a time.
Just clip after.
I can't find
how's
it.
it going so far?
It's great. I want to see the whole thing, and I tried finding it. It's not any streaming, so I was like, I guess I'll just watch it bit by bit.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, I guess Jurassic World, we're gonna see it. Same sort of deal. We're not getting our hopes up for nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, do you know what it's time for?
Is it time for unhinged reviews?
No, maybe we'll bring it back, but it's time for
All right.
none other than Glenn's Corner, where I'm sitting in the corner looking at nothing but a picture of Glenn. Our boy is headed to the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Glenn Powell. I saw this pop up on my feed. I thought we should give it a gander, because when this comes out, it'll actually be Super Bowl Sunday. And Glenn Powell has just released I don't know why they do this now, but they release all the Super Bowl commercials before the Super Bowl. Have you noticed they do that recently?
That's kind of weird. I never noticed it till this year.
Well, if you had to guess, so Glenn Powell's in the Super Bowl commercial. What do you think the product is for?
Probably something Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a hat. Well, it's probably not a hat. I could see like a Rolex. Maybe a car.
Mm.
Probably a car, actually. Probably pulling a McConaughey, driving a Lincoln, but instead of a Lincoln, it's going to be like a Hyundai or a Kia Soul or something here.
Chris, you're real close.
It's a truck.
Yeah, it's for Ram.
A Ford. Oh,
We're going to do a live
Ram.
reaction. I sent it to Chris. We're going to watch it real quick.
Wow, what a trailer. What a commercial.
Chris,
That's way better than what Matthew can do.
Oh, sure. I feel like this trailer will do what Maverick 2 did for recruiting of the Navy, if you know what I mean. It's just influx of Ram purchases. Just got a slurry of my favorite things. We got Glenn. We got dragons. We got bears.
Cool. He's reading a book. He's
Fatherhood,
got long
sure.
hair. He's got that Fabio hair. He's got the short hair. He's
jumping over a lava pit. Yeah. Would you ever buy a truck? Do you have a truck?
I don't have a truck. Probably not.
Yeah. I feel like if you're not like a general contractor and you have a fat truck like that, it's like, what's the point? You know?
Yeah.
What I mean?
Plus, you get asked to do a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably a main con.
That's why I don't have a truck. I don't want anyone asking my help for moving.
Yep, I get the 2-door sedan that you can't even fit the kids back there. They're squishing against the windows, can't breathe.
Sardines, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Glenn in this commercial is great. If you haven't seen it, you'll probably see it this Super Bowl Sunday. But I thought it was one of the best commercials I've seen this year for Super Bowl. Let me tell you, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to sit on the couch watching the whole 4 hours, not for the football, but for just to see Glenn. I'm going to have a Glenn counter, see how many times I can see him there.
The second it ends, you're like, all right, I'm out.
All right, it's over. I do got a question for you, Steve.
Oh?
You been watching anything?
I actually saw a movie with the wife the other day.
Ooh, do tell.
Wind River.
Oh,
You ever see
Jeremy
Wind River?
Wren.
Jeremy Wren,
Not Scarlett
Johansson.
Punisher
goodness.
guy. What's his name?
Oh,
John
Jonathan
Bernthal.
And it's got, I want to say Scarlet Witch. What's her actual? Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, Elizabeth Olsen.
Various cast members from the Twilight series.
Ooh, has it got the dreadlock Jamaican man?
No.
Does he burst? What are you doing, man?
Yeah. No, I feel like if Hollywood needs any Native American guys, They cast those two guys.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm like, it probably has Jacob's dad and some of them wolves.
Oh, yeah. I liked it quite a lot. It's a very, very slow burn, but I like it. Jeremy Renner plays a hunter. He's bloody hunting mountain lions, wolves for a living. The man is a tracker, and there's a murder mystery that he stumbles upon and is enlisted by Elizabeth Olsen, who's an FBI agent, to solve the murder. And it's very engaging, very rewarding at the end, and I liked it quite a bit. So I'd probably give that like 4 or 5 standing, yeah.
I saw it years back, but I think I was watching it with our old pal Sam. Shout out Sam. But yeah, there's that iconic scene where it just goes 0 to 100.
Oh,
it's one of the best action scenes I've seen in a while. But
it's just real. It's raw, Yeah. What else you been watching, Chris?
I seen a movie today, actually, in theaters called Bring Them Down. You heard this?
No, that's what Theoden says to the Oliphants, you know what I mean? At the Battle of Minas Tirith.
Bring them down, bring them down.
There it is.
It takes place in Scotland or Ireland, one of the two.
Is it with Killian?
No, it's got, I'll be useful, sir.
Oh, what's his name?
That Ready Player One looking guy. That's not him, but I always get him mixed up.
Yeah.
Barry Keoghan.
Barry Keoghan, yeah.
He's Joker.
The new Joker, sure.
Joker. I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm the Joker, baby.
It's got him, and it's got the guy from the new Wolfman.
Kit Harington.
Christopher
Lloyd?
That would be something.
Marty!
It's the foreigner from Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, that dude?
That guy's in it. Essentially, the plot is they're in Scotland, they're neighbors, and they're both sheep farmers. They've got a bunch of sheep, but they kind of get into like a neighborhood squabble with one another, and it gets more and more intense, and it's a thriller, but it was actually pretty good. It's kind of like, you ever seen that movie Caliber? It's the one where the buddies are hunting in the woods, and something happens.
Spoiler alert, they accidentally kill someone or something.
Yeah. It's a similar, like the plot's not really that close, but it's a similar vibe to that.
Okay.
So I think if you like that one, you'd like this. So I'd probably give that like 5-minute standing O. That's pretty good.
Nice. Awesome.
And then I started watching the new season of Invincible.
Oh, that's out?
Yeah, the first 3 eps.
I didn't know that. Otherwise, I would have.
It came out yesterday.
Oh, goodness.
Or today or something. I start watching today. Yeah, I forgot how much I liked the show because you put on, because it'd been, like a year or something. And I'm like, I remember liking it. But then you put it on. I'm like, oh, man, this show's great. I forgot how much I enjoy this. But so far, I've seen 1 episode, and I liked it.
I'll be sure to watch they'll probably release the 4th episode by next week, and I can watch those so we can return.
It must be Thursdays they come out, or maybe it's Friday at midnight or something. But I think they're doing weekly after this one.
Gotcha.
But that's all I've been watching, besides SEVARNTANTCS.
Very
Severance.
Yes. Chris, we need to talk about Severance Season 2, Episode 4, Buddy.
Yes.
Wow. What an episode. What a bloody episode. Am I right?
What a bloody episode. Yep. They were in the woods. There's sounds in the woods.
There's things in the woods other than trees.
There's people in the woods.
Goodness gracious.
Seals.
Starting off real quick. So episode 3 ends with Mark reintegrating, and they left me on a cliffhanger. And I was itching. I'm like, where's this going to pick up after? And I was intrigued, but slightly perturbed and disappointed that it didn't go back to that storyline. And instead, we introduced like this whole new thing. And I was like, did we skip 2 episodes? Did we do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And
I know what you mean.
I guess that's a slight, not a con, but I'm like a little frustrated that we're not like getting direct answers. You know, we're very much going on a little maze runner situation, just kind of meandering a little bit. Not that they're not engaging. Like, I love this episode, but I was like, can we like potentially focus on one thing before introducing this huge other thing? Now we got like 5 huge things that we need to like keep track of. And not that that's a bad thing. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not used to it.
It's a bad thing, Steve.
I'm not used to good television is what I'm saying here.
You're going to watch this show and you're going to enjoy it.
Stop crying.
Stop crying. No, I watched it, and within like the first couple minutes, because it starts off and it's like Irving and Mark in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the whole episode isn't here. Like me and my wife said that, and then the whole
Lo and
episode was
behold.
there.
Really, I like that as like all outside and in the middle of nowhere.
My wife hated it. It's like she
Wow.
hated the episode. It was my least favorite.
Really?
Probably out of all the episodes, honestly.
Seriously? Let's debate it because I loved the crap out of this one. Like I said, I didn't like that takeaway from the main story, but I've loved the things that happened and I love the creepiness of it. There's a lot of things to pick apart. So you just didn't like that it was like
I think, my main thing was you end on a cliffhanger and like you're so excited because you're like, oh, how was, reintegrated Mark? What's going to happen? And then they just don't address it at all. And it's got more than usual of the Irving seeing things like kind of hallucinating, which me.
I knew as soon as those sequences popped up, I was like, Chris is going to hit him.
I've got my Arthur fist in my hand.
Yeah.
It was mainly those things. Like I'll say at the end, it's good. Like the last 5 to 10, like again, the whole episode is not, I'm saying it's the worst of the show, but obviously I like the show a lot.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just like, it was more lull than most episodes because all right, they're camping, they're talking. I was just so hyped for it and it was a letdown.
Okay. Listen, I totally agree with you. And I was there with you at like the first 5 minutes because I was like, what is this? What are we doing here? But it got to a point where I was like, this is actually pretty engaging to me. And I liked how visually it was just so different than everything else. And it's a good mystery because I was like, what's happening? What are we doing here? The story with Campfire was pretty funny.
He said, spill
his lineage.
And
I thought that too. I was like, is that what?
Is he just spraying and praying here? I said that to my wife and she was like, no, you pervert. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, I'm not crazy.
You did
I'm
the
right
slow
again.
turn to your wife and well.
Wow.
That's great. No, yeah. There's some interesting moments in this episode. And I actually liked that it just stayed with all 4 of them as opposed to kind of just bouncing all over the place. And there's some really fun things that happened. They're in the woods. They got their cute little Russian outfits, and Miss Wong and Milchek got their cute little white outfits. Miss Wong plays a theremin. I had a buddy in college who played that, and it's really cool, super weird. If you ever had the chance to play a theremin, it's fun. But I liked seeing that there. I actually liked Irving's dream sequence. I know you hate those, but I thought it was real fun. Him seeing the creepy little bride. I was like, ooh, yeah, creepy. Creepy, little scary. I like it. He found out that Helly was an Egan, which in this episode is pretty I don't want to say obvious, but you could tell she was very much not Helly. And then when he confronted her and was like, Helly was never mean, I was like, my boy.
Yeah.
My boy's done it.
Wait,
and
so how did he figure out she was an Egan?
I feel like he pieced it together because it all started with when she was like, I saw a night gardener. You remember we talked about that?
I know that, but just because she's lying doesn't mean she's an Egan.
Okay, so there's a couple things. When he wasn't in that dream sequence, he was onto her because she just wasn't acting like Helly. Mark couldn't see it because he had googly eyes for her. Dylan couldn't really care less. Irving knew that something was up, and then they had that little conversation in the tent, and he could there's a very subtle moment that happens where Helly gives him a look, and it's very much all right, he's onto me.
Yeah.
And then when he had that dream sequence, if you pause or just kind of look at it, he sees the screen, the MDR screen, and it spells out Egan, and it has a face of Helly.
I saw the face. I guess I wasn't looking at the letters. Oh,
yeah, the letters kind of spelled Egan.
So the little zombie girl showed him the way.
A lot of people are saying that's one of the 4 tempers of Kier. It's Woe, because they're in Woe's Hollow and all that. I don't know where that will go, but I liked the imagery of it. I like that creepy little, I don't know if it's Dawn by Daylight kind of thing, but it's creepy. I liked it. A little jump scare here and there. It was nice. Yeah, like you said, the last 5-10 minutes, bloody chef's kiss. I thought it was great. Irving, he doesn't really have anything to lose because he doesn't got Bert anymore. And so
he's so lonely.
He's hell-bent on exposing him. And he's dunking Helly in the water, and it's very tense. And when she's like, do it, Seth. And then he's like, do it, Seth. I was like, oh, boy.
Do it. You get him, Irv.
Yeah. Just like the last episode. It's given me Lost vibes where it's everything's ending on a cliffhanger.
Yes.
And
then the next episode, they're not going to address it.
I swear, if they do that, I'm a I'm going to lose it. Again, I don't hate it for that reason. It's just like, I love it so much that I want to see more, is what I'm saying. I really like this episode. I like that it's in a different location. It sets things up in a way that you're counting down the days to next week, you know? Is this the end of Irv? Also, what's going to happen when he's out? He's just like there? Is he going to recognize Helena Egan? You know, there's just so many questions, Christopher. There's so many questions. I don't know what to do with my life anymore.
I don't either. Again, like, I didn't hate it. I definitely liked the end of it. I was just more annoyed, I guess.
Yeah, there is actually another thing I thought was pretty interesting. So we know that Helena has been here the whole time, right? So ever since Helly has been like under, I guess, not present. So she went from speaking at that Egan event to being dunked underwater. So we have to remember that. So that whole thing, she's probably freaking out. And there's also another thing to mention that Helena had relations with Mark in this episode. Mm-hmm. And so there's like a lot going on there. Like any Mark is now like falling in love with Helly, but it's not Helly, it's Helena. And Helena is actually like kind of falling in love with any Mark. So there's bloody triangles, squares, trapezoids, love going on. And it's very intense. Also, implications of if somebody gets pregnant, I'm raising my eyebrows because what's going to happen there?
I don't know.
So much going on. Very interesting to watch. And I can't wait for more. Well, Chris, should we dive into this Love Hurts bloody Cupid arrow first?
Ooh, wow. Mm-hmm. Yes,
to the meat and potatoes of this episode. We're going to be talking this movie with Ke Huy Quan. Bloody, we got Anna DeBose. Dr. Jones, yes.
Archer Lady
from Craven.
Of course.
Bloody James from Twilight and Never Back Down, if you remember that.
Oh, yes.
But we're going to be giving just a basic plot synopsis, our ratings.
Hey, you forgot Marshawn Lynch, Beast Mode.
Oh, yes.
And you forgot I Can Carry You.
Oh, my goodness. Sean Astin, yeah.
Yeah, come on,
I'm sorry.
buddy.
Okay. Yes, stellar cast.
That one girl from Crazy Stupid Love that the little boy's got a thing for.
Leo Tipton, giving a plot breakdown. No spoilers in this section. Timestamps if you want to skip ahead. We're giving our rating. Then we're getting some cons and pros. You mind if I break it down real Chris for you? Quick for you, Chris?
Break it down.
Sorry, I had a stroke there. So, you got Ke Huy Quan. Marvin is his name, I believe.
Marvin Gable. Hard man to find.
Yeah.
That's from the trailer.
Yeah. He's a realtor of the year. Just loving his life. Just riding his cute little bicycle to work. Everyone loves him. He bakes cookies for the office type guy. And he goes to sell a house. And let's just say his past comes to bite him because he has just a checkered past that Anna DeBose comes to settle a debt, potentially. We find out that he's anything but a kind little old neighbor across the street, but he's got just fighting skills, and he's a little John Wick packed in an Asian spring roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, without spoiling, he's a realtor. He's got some demons he needs to slay.
He's got a very peculiar set of skills.
Yes, not particular, peculiar.
And if you didn't know, it takes place on Valentine's Day.
That's why it's called Love Hurts.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Chris, what'd you think of this? No spoilers.
I was actually really excited to watch it because the trailer looks real good.
Yeah.
It's my type of film. I got probably like 20 minutes in, and I'm just like, this isn't good, is it? Like,
eyes squinting a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I expected more. It just wasn't. Like, it wasn't as bad as that Cameron Diaz one, Back in Action.
Yeah, it's better than that, for sure, yeah.
But I'd say this is like a flight risk par.
Oh, come on now.
You think it's better?
I think it's better. I think it's more fun than that. There's more than one location.
Yeah.
Listen, I see what you're coming from. Totally.
Maybe I was just like so disappointed because this is definitely nominated for the award of like best trailer, biggest letdown, because it's kind of like that Suicide Squad where you're like, hey, this looks fun, I can't wait, and then it just does not live up.
Yeah,
and a lot of the acting wasn't great. The script wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
They sell you on like it's an action-packed movie. They say from the producers of Nobody,
and
which
Silent
great
Night,
film,
Deadly Night, yeah,
and Violent Night, which was
Night,
it was fine. It was fun.
Yeah.
And this one, it's like maybe 4 action scenes in the whole movie. Like you would think it would be more action packed because it's directed by a stuntman. This is his first movie he's directed. All right, I'm expecting like a John Wick type where it's just like constant action. And the movie's only like an hour 28 or something.
Yep. Very short.
Real short, but even though it's less than an hour and a half, it still like feels like it dragged to me where I'm like, this feels longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't love it. I wouldn't really recommend it. It wasn't the worst. Like if you want to put it on a stream, I say go for it, but I would not go pay money to watch it.
Don't disagree with those things, Christopher, because the trailer made it look like it was, oh man, this is going to be fun, like a good grand old time. But like you said, maybe 4.5 action sequences. And to me, it really felt like kind of a short film. I don't know how to explain. Like, it kind of had that pacing where you really just dive into it, and within maybe 10 minutes, we're already having a fight scene. Like, from the time it starts to like the first fight scene, it seems like a short film. And then it seems like they kind of stretched it to be longer because they had to. I totally agree. One of the more disappointing, like, great trailer, but pretty disappointing movie. Don't go in the theaters, see it. I'd say spend your Valentine's Day with your loved one doing anything else.
Yeah.
But if you want to watch it on streaming, you can. I would say just watch Nobody if you're in the mood for like one of these movies.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody has a better storyline, a grittier action, better action. So,
or Boy Kills World.
Yeah, sure. All right, Chris. Spoilers from here on out. Let's
should we give how many minutes you giving this here? I think I gave Flight Risk a 2. Or no, maybe I gave it a 1, so I'll probably give this a 1.
I got to give it one more minute than whatever I gave Flight Risk because I liked it better than Flight Risk, but only slightly. Like, I would watch this again over Flight Risk.
That's true. I might, I'll say 2 minutes here. You
I mean, if I had a choice between this and Flight Risk, I'd go wash the dishes, you know?
Yeah, same.
Anyway.
This one's shorter, so by 10 minutes or something.
All right, let's dive into some spoilies. We're going to start with cons and then go into some pros, finish on high notes. But Chris, I'm sure you're just steeped with some cons, it sounds like.
Oh, Rose, she's very annoying.
Oh, yes.
I'm not rooting for her.
Mm-hmm.
She seems like the worst. Like, I'm rooting for
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones, what's his name?
Short round.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone else, I'm like, I don't really care for this. Like, she was so annoying because he saves her life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole plot is she's supposed to get murdered, and he takes the job, saves her life, and it's like, hey, they think I killed you. You gotta go hide, but you're gonna be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then like he starts his new life as like a realtor, and he's like, hey, he's happy. He's finally like, because before he was a cold-blooded killer, and he changed his life. He changed his life around. He's happy. He's helping people. He's a hard worker. And then she shows up and then just causes all this commotion. She's like giving everyone these Valentine's cards, and she says about 100 times, hiding ain't living. Yes.
Like, listen, we get it.
He's in love with her, and it ends with him like, I love you, and they get together, but I'm just like, you could do better, man. She's so annoying. She's not a good actor, man. I've only seen her in
three
this
things.
and Craven.
3 strikes, she's out.
What was the third?
Argyle.
Oh,
yeah,
that was her too?
Her.
My goodness.
Argyle, Craven, this, you're done.
She's not good.
Yeah, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt because I was like, Craven, you know, maybe that's a product of the script and everything. And then I remembered that she was an Argyle. And I was like, okay, no, she's not great in that. No. And then this, I was like, all right, I don't know. I can't do it. She's just not a great actor. And like you said, she's the worst part of this movie because she's like the instigator of moving the story along. But the reason she does it is like stupid and is like very contrived. And I wasn't on board. Also, a terrible love story. Like, it's supposed to be Valentine's Day love story. The love story between bloody crazy stupid love girl and the black guy was better than the main one. Yeah, I didn't get a sense that the Dr. Jones and Ariana DeBose even liked each other, let alone love. Like, it wasn't great at all. The TBH.
And he used to work for his brother, and his brother's coming looking for him and killing a bunch of people, you know, trying to stop them. His brother kills Sean Astin.
Oh, yes.
Astin. With the boba tea straw in his eye.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically Marvin's new brother. Like, they consider each other brother. Like, he basically took him in. He helped him get the job as a realtor. Best buds. And he gets murdered all because of her.
Yeah.
It's like, have a little gratitude, woman. Like, he saved your life. And then you come doing all this and like, acting like he's the problem. But I'm like, he changed his life. He saved you. And you got his best friend murdered, but he just like doesn't seem to care about that like at all.
Yeah, that her character, there's a few things wrong because a character like that where it's like rough around the edge, no nonsense, like punch at your problems kind of character, that's her the whole time. But it doesn't work because there needs to be some relief in that character too. Some points where it's like, oh, she's like a hardened, tough on nails, but she also does this that makes her likable. She ain't likable. Nothing. It's just like the whole reason we're doing this is for her, and I don't like it. And so the only thing I could root for was Dr. Jones,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the whole movie is all about Valentine's Day. Like they say it a million times. Like every single character, like one of the goons is like, it's Valentine's Day, and he's like reading some little candy that says love you. Oh yeah, wow. Let me call my girlfriend, we're in a fight. And then it's like, oh, this crazy stupid love and this other killer, they got a thing. And then the brother's like, oh, happy it's just like, I get it's on Valentine's Day, but it doesn't really make sense. It's like, I think they started off like, we need to make a movie. Let's see, when's a good like release time that no big movies are coming? All right, Valentine's Day, or so we got a Valentine's Day movie. What director we got? Some sort of stuntman. All right, some action, and we'll play up the Valentines. Where it's like it doesn't add to anything. It's not like romantic or anything, and it just honestly, it's just like to a point where it's more annoying than contributing to the plot.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think the best way I could describe this movie is if you've seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, there's an episode where the gang is at a gas station and it gets robbed. And all the members have like their fantasy of what they would do in that situation. And Mac has a fantasy where, because he's really into karate, that he would like take on all these robbers and these ninjas and Yakuza and like fight them and kill them. Imagine that for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
That's literally, a lot of it was like, this feels like the beginning of a dream sequence or like a fantasy. Like, in a movie where it's like the slow motion starts and it's like, you pan up to the character and they're like cracking their knuckles and they're like, okay, so in this scenario, like this guy's dreaming and this is what he would do in the scenario. Instead, that's the whole movie, if that makes sense. And if you like that episode of It's Always Sunny, that part, then you'd probably like this. It's about on the same level. You won't get any deeper than that. But that's what it reminded me of, was that part on That's Always Sunny. I have here in my notes, justice for Sean Astin. Because like you said, Dr. Jones and him are like brothers. Like Sean Astin is his boss and he kind of mentored him to be a great realtor. And you see that kind of relationship where they're like, oh, thanks for being such a good guy, and there's pictures of them, fishing, and they establish a relationship. And he is very unceremoniously killed with a boba straw in the eye by Dr. Jones's brother. And that's the end of it. Like, you don't hear anything else from it. It kind of bugged me at the end where I was like, okay, you're going to like put his picture on the wall at least, or like literally anything. I'm like, if you were his brother, you ain't got nothing. Like, there's nothing to,
He didn't even seem sad or anything.
Yeah, because at the end, he looks at Sean Astin's hat and he's like, there's nothing there. I'm like, can we just...
Yeah.
Come on, there's nothing. It's very frustrating. I also have in my note, soap opera level acting.
Yep.
It very much felt like a telenovela at times.
She was really bad, but also like they had the two goons. It was Marshawn Lynch and that other guy.
Yeah.
Which like Marshawn Lynch, I'm not obviously expecting great acting. And honestly, he was fine. But that other guy, I was just like, I have no idea who you are. I guess they're telling you to act this way, but it just was too goofy and weird. Like, it wasn't taking itself too serious, but it wasn't funny. Like, they kept trying to do a bunch of jokes, but I don't think I laughed. Maybe people in the theater laughed one time.
Yeah.
But
well, my theater was packed in the other way, but...
No one laughed?
No, my theater was packed and everyone laughed.
Really? When did they laugh?
Oh, we can get into some pros, but...
Oh, wow.
Going back, acting wasn't that great. And it really felt kind of like the director, a stunt guy. It felt like a show reel for like the stunt team. If you like watch someone's stunt reel and they like have a bunch of different action sequences, you're like, oh, this is cool. Imagine if you watch 10 minutes of that and then like, okay, how can we connect these action sequences? Like, cause they're very like, all right, here we go. Let's throw together a loose story and just compile it. Action was very much the main motivator of this movie. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's like...
It didn't have that much action for an action film, I'd say.
Yeah. You got any more cons?
That lawyer guy, he's like the most disgusting looking thing I've seen. He gets his like teeth like ripped out, and he's doing like this weird things with his face, and I was just like, I felt sick just like looking at him.
Yes, he's I forget his name. He's Murray from Flight of the Conchords, if you've seen that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty thankless because he's a really funny guy. Hunt for the Wilder People, Flight of the Conchords, he's really funny. And for some reason, they have this bit where they have his mouth taped up and they rip the thing off his face and his two front teeth come off with the tape. I'm like, okay, that's a funny bit. But what they've done there is now he has to wear a tooth retainer for the rest of the movie. And so he constantly has this face where it's like the corners of his mouth are pointed down, or it's like just an ugly face, and he can't act. And it's very obvious that he's trying his very best to talk and enunciate with this giant thing in his mouth. And it looks horrible because you can see the fake gums and everything. And it's like, this guy's really funny. You got this guy, and he sits in a chair bloodied and, with his mouth taped up the whole time. So I was like, what are you doing? Give him something to do. He's the funniest guy on there, but he didn't do anything.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
my pros here.
Yes.
Hour 23. Probably the shortest movie I've seen in a while. You don't see a lot of hour 23s. There was some cool scenes when they were fighting was good. I like the second fight scene where they're fighting at his house, and
yeah, that one was fun.
It shows like the camera go in the microwave when he won the realtor of the year, and he's trying to protect his little certificate thing, but shows the camera in the microwaves, and then it shows it in the fridge, and then he gets thrown in the fridge. So I was like, that's pretty fun, this is good.
He gets thrown in the fridge, and then the two goons throw the fridge across the room.
They pick up the fridge and throw it.
Funny. Yeah, that was I think the best action sequence in terms of like comedy. That was the most engaging. Yeah, right there with you. You get some fun action sequences. Very talented people all across the board. I don't know how you would do it better. It's all technically good, like all the fights and everything. Everyone's very talented, but it just wasn't like as fun to watch. I don't know if it's because I've seen so many of these, where it's like this isn't that much new. Well, I guess in my theater, everyone ate this up. Let me tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine did not.
I saw an advanced screening, so maybe it's because it was free, and that's why they liked it so much. But everyone was just laughing. Everyone had a great time. They were chuckling. And I will admit, there was one moment where I actually went like, it's like,
yeah.
Air quote.
Tell me the moment.
There's a kind of a subplot where Dr. Jones has this competitor realtor who's one of the property brothers, one or both. They might have cowboy switched it for now and then, but he's known to be like his catchphrase is like, I'll fight for you. And he's like a karate master, a black belt. And at the second to last fight scene, they all come to one of their houses to fight. And he's across the street and sees them. So he runs over there about to fight him. And he goes over there and does his little black belt karate moves. And it's just like, ha, ha, karate chop. And it's very funny. And he dives and tries to help Dr. Jones. He's like, I'll go high, you go low. He's like, what? And he stands up. They just blast him in the head. Just I thought that was actually pretty funny. Very unexpected because I was like, oh, okay, maybe he could fight him. But no, they just cap him right there. Yeah, so I was like, that's pretty good. I actually thought the main guy, Marvin, was pretty good. He did his best to save it. He's acting against a couple of brick walls of people.
Yes.
But he's doing his best. I think that's all I got in terms of pros.
Same.
Again, if you want to watch a movie like this, go watch A Nobody or watch John Wick for the fifth time.
Yep.
There's really nothing new to this. In 2 weeks, the fight scenes will come up on YouTube. Just watch that, honestly.
Yeah.
If you have any interest in it. I think next week, Christopher, it's actually Valentine's Day. If you're still listening, we'll probably be a couple days late on recording, just potentially. So if you're a staunch listener looking forward to it every Sunday, it might be a day or two late. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, wow. How could you do this to them, Steve?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Big day if you're listening. If you're hoping for us next week. But but next week we're going to be talking bloody not Falcon.
Oh.
Captain?
Capitan
America.
Ooh.
Yes.
Fun.
Maybe doing a Super Bowl best trailers.
Oh, that's
you want to
true.
do that
Maybe.
Potentially. Yeah.
That's true.
Where if they feel inclined to communicate with us or follow us, where would they find us, Chris?
Find us on the Stale Popcorn Pod at gmail.com.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's right. You can send us anything. We'll read it on air.
Yep. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud. We got Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts.
Twitter.
Yeah, I think that's it. But thanks for listening. Have a good week.
Forget about
Bye.
things like stale.
Popcorn, stale popcorn.
Popcorn. This is the
Stale popcorn.
popcorn.
What
Is
they-
he
is
just spraying and praying here? I said that to my wife, and she was like, "No, you pervert."